In 1933, when the first neighborhoods began disappearing in Germany, most people told themselves it wasn't their business. It was someone else's problem, someone else's fight. By the time the trains were running, silence had already done its damage. History teaches us a hard truth. Tyranny does not arrive suddenly, it advances quietly while good people look away. Greetings, Patriots. I'm Perry Green. Welcome to God in America, where faith and freedom are not relics of the past, but responsibilities for the present to preserve the future. Listen to Proverbs 21, verse 13. Whoever shuts his ears to the cry of the poor will also cry himself and not be heard. That verse is not about economics alone. It's about moral deafness, the willful refusal to hear injustice because it's inconvenient, uncomfortable, or costly. It's another example of the spiritual law of sowing and reaping. We receive what we give. If we give silence when people are in need, we will be given the same when we are needy. Scripture's clear. God does not excuse silence when silence enables evil. The prophet Isaiah warned, "Woe to those who call evil good and good evil." James reminds us, "Whoever knows the right thing to do and fails to do it, for him it is sin." Silence is not neutral, it takes sides. That truth is echoed in one of the most haunting confessions of the 20th century, attributed to the German pastor Martin Niemöller. At first, he complied with the Nazis and their state control of the churches. However, as time passed, he became part of the resistance and was imprisoned in 1937 by the Nazi regime and spent years in concentration camps, including the infamous Dachau. He wrote, "First, they came for the Jews, and I did not speak out because I was not a Jew. Then they came for the communists, and I did not speak out because I was not a communist. Then they came for the trade unionists, and I did not speak out because I was not a trade unionist. Then they came for me, and there was no one left to speak for me." After World War II, he used this statement to confess collective guilt. It was not just his own silence, but the silence of churches and citizens who failed to resist early injustice. That is not poetry, that's an autopsy report on a society that mistook quiet for safety. America was founded by men who understood this danger. The founders did not believe freedom could survive apathy. They believed liberty required vigilance, virtue, and voice. Our American ancestors pledged their lives, fortunes, and sacred honor not because resistance was comfortable, but because silence was unacceptable. Our Constitution assumes that Americans are the same courageous people as then. Samuel Adams observed that liberty would not be lost if we are proactive. He stated, "If virtue and knowledge are diffused among the people, they will never be enslaved. This will be their great security." John Witherspoon taught, "He is the best friend to American liberty who is most sincere and active in promoting true and undefiled religion. Faith is the foundation of our freedom." The political left is proving that silence of the tolerant has only postponed their violent tactics. This means that we must stop pretending that staying quiet keeps the peace. It does not. It only delays the reckoning. Jesus said he brought a sword of division, not peace, in Matthew 10. When truth is punished and lies are rewarded, silence becomes collaboration. When children are confused, families are weakened, and faith is pushed out of the public life, neutrality is not an option. Proverbs 31, verse 8 commands us, "Open your mouth for the mute, for the rights of all who are destitute." Opening your mouth does not require rage, but it does require resolve. Speak truth with clarity. Defend the vulnerable without apology. Stand for righteousness even when it costs, because one day we may be the ones crying out. Proverbs warns that a silenced conscience leaves us unheard. Patriots, this is our moment. Like Esther and even King Cyrus, God has placed us here not to be quiet spectators of decline, but to be faithful witnesses to the truth, to reclaim our God-ordained republic. May we never have to say, "I didn't speak because it wasn't about me." It is about us. Let it be said that we stood when it mattered. Within the next 24 hours, let me encourage you to support someone who's speaking biblical truth to your community. It may be a text, it may be a phone call, it may be a pat on the back. Well, thanks for listening today. Until next time, let's keep the light of eternal vigilance burning.